Select this, and I'm going to make this a lighter orange. I'm going to drag it over here. Make this one sort of a medium orange. And even though that's not selected, if I drag that color to that box, it will change the color because I'm identifying to the computer this is the object I want to change. Now, let's go ahead and get our white arrow because what we want to do is manipulate this shape. So we're going to make a cube. So I'm going to click and drag over these 2 points, or I can just click on that line. And I'm going to drag down and to the right. Now, that's the perfect position for me. Now I'm going to come here and click and drag this up and to the left. Like that. And now I've got a cube. Now if I want to make sure that these are all nice and even, I'm going to push Command and the space bar. That will give me the zoom tool. And then zoom in really close. I'm not quite on, so I'll click here. And by making sure that I'm right on that line, I can come in and drag it until it unites, until it comes together. I've created a cube. Okay. Alright. Now, in doing this, there were a couple of things that we discussed. I want to show you, I want to review them very quickly. The black arrow selects everything, and you'll notice if I click and drag over all of that, that will all move together. Will all be the same object. It will act as though it's the same object. In fact, I can scale the whole thing with that black arrow. The white arrow allows us to select individual anchor points and move them. Now I can go to Edit, Undo Move. That's a great advantage to be able to undo that. And you have infinite undos in Illustrator. The Align palette allows us to align different shapes based on 2 or more shapes based on a certain point or a certain line that will do it. Here are swatches. These allow us to establish color within here. Now this color keeps popping up. If we click on this, it automatically brings this up. This gives us a chance to create sort of individual or unique colors. Now we're doing it in CMYK because CMYK is an additive kind of color palette. We start out with white. Think about when you were drawing with crayons. When you wanted to get an orange, you would first draw with a little bit of yellow, and then you'd put a little bit of red over the top of it. At least I would do that because my little sister would eat the orange crayons. So I would have to add to it. Well, in order to get that, I'm going to do a little bit of yellow, and then I'm going to come over to the slider and a little bit of red or a little bit of magenta until I get the color that I want. Then when I get the color I want, I can actually click on that color and drag it over to my swatches, and it will stay in that palette, or it will stay in that as long as this is selected. Okay. Alright, now we're going to come back and we're going to work on some other things here in a moment. And so let's go ahead and select all and hit delete. Okay, we're going to make a new cube, only this time we're going to work with a couple of other tools and a couple of other things to help us to be able to make it appropriately. First of all, let's get a new color over here in our fill color. In this case, I'm going to do a blue, like that. You'll notice when I change that, you're going to see that in a couple places. There'll be blue there, blue here in your color swatches. This is the CMYK sliders to establish that color. You can actually pick colors or change colors by manipulating these, sliding them around, or clicking within this area right here in the spectrum, or again just slide them around, or just go back to your swatches and use the pre-programmed colors. First of all, let's go ahead and make that perfect square. So I'm going to select my square, push Shift, so I get a perfect square like that. Now, I'm going to copy that. We'll go to Edit, Copy, or I can push Command C, and then Edit, Paste, so Command V. I'm going to put this right over the top of it like this. I'll hold my Command key and spacebar down, and I'm going to zoom over the top of these. And then I'll move this so it's directly on top, like that. Now I'm going to push Command V again, or paste. I'm going to move this so that it goes directly over the top on this side, or over to the right side here. So these are all combined. Now, I'm not quite right on, so it looks like I need to push my Command key and spacebar again, zoom in close. I'm just going to move that in a little bit closer. Looks like this is a little off as well. So I'm going to move that in like that. Okay. All right. Now I'll zoom out. I'll push the Command key, spacebar, and Option, and move out. Now I'm going to get my white direct selection arrow. We've done this before. So I'm going to go ahead and click and drag over these top anchor points and drag down and to the right. Now I'm going to click and drag over these on the bottom and the right, and then drag them up and to the left. Like that. Now, so that I can see what's going on, I'm going to go ahead and adjust these colors. Now I want to adjust them proportionally, or so it's a tint of that color. So I'm going to hold my Shift key down, click on these, and then drag them across, and you'll see that it will change all of that proportionally. I'm going to select here, and drag this across, and all of that will change proportionally as well. At this point I'm going to get my black arrow, select all of them, and go to Object, Group. Now if I select it with the black arrow, it moves all together. So I'm going to go ahead now and copy, Command C, which has now copied this whole group, and Command V, and paste that. I'm going to move it so that it's right over the top of this. Then I'm going to paste it again. And I'm going to bring this down so it fits there. Now I'll zoom out by pushing Command, Option, and Space. And I'll select all of these. So I'll get my black arrow, click and drag over that. And now I'm going to drag this down to the right a little bit so it fits like that. And then I'm going to click over all of that, and I'm going to drag them like this until they fit. Now the reason I drag over a large portion is so it saves me time. Instead of having just to copy one at a time, I can copy multiples of them at once. If I select all this and push Option and drag them up here like that, and it will all go together. And then when I'm done, I'm just going to push Command A, or select all, and you'll see that boundary box comes around the entire object. And the boundary box extends only to the farthest to the left, base, right, and top of whatever objects you have there. So now I'll come here, I'm going to start scaling it down, and I'll push Shift at the same time so it will constrain it and scale proportionally, and I can move that in there like that. Okay. And that's really about it. In order to create objects, it's really a combination of putting together lots and lots and lots of different shapes. And when they get put together like that, then they start to become recognizable, and you start to see what a specific object is. I'm going to select all of those and hit Delete. And when we come back next time, next class, we're going to start working with the pen tool. And we're also going to start working with some of the other shapes, specifically the circle shape. And you'll learn a little bit more about that.